Okay, good morning, everyone. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I'm not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case. I'm here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail. These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it at the end of the case. If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to the company for their service. The fee will not be returned. I don't know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond. Finally, if you use property to post bond, the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you could remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Whether bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Lastly, I need everyone to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, let's get started on the ladies' side first. I have Miss Barron.
Johnny Ben.
Miss Barron, you're charged with one count of simple battery. The bond for this offense will be $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
No, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Quintavious Carr. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir. May I say something?
Yes, ma'am. In 1 second.
Okay.
Are you currently working, ma'am?
No, sir. I'm a stay-at-home mom with my two kids. One is on a feeding tube, and he has an appointment tomorrow that he has to go to.
And I presume that is the thing that you wanted to tell me.
Yes, he has the appointment he really has to go to because he's on the feeding tube and he's losing weight. They don't know why, and we're trying to figure out why he's losing weight and with him being on the feeding tube.
Can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Who called the police?
We don't know.
Ma'am, okay, so I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. I'm going to reduce your bond to $1,500. Almost half of my calendar every day is domestic violence related issues. And I have no idea how we've gotten to this point in society where people move in, live together, and cannot understand how to live in peace. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. The reason that I'm considering lowering your bond, ma'am, is because the allegation is of a push and not a punch. Um, I just, do you have any other questions for me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Ms. Best,
Miss Best, ma'am, you're charged with one count of reckless conduct, one count of cruelty to children in the third degree, and one count of aggravated assault. Your bond is going to be set at $20,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Kaylin Brady. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning because of the felony offense. That date will get waived if you're able to bond out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you. Thank you. Shabria Elena with an E.
Miss Ellenwood, ma'am, you've been charged with one count of simple battery. I've set the bond at $5,000. You believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Rufus Cosby. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes, sir. Just one question. Because of the price, the 5,000, it was the assault just for throwing a phone. So I wasn't sure. I mean, it was no hitting involved, no nothing.
Well, the allegation is there was a slap to the face and that it was observed on video footage.
Oh, no. Okay, sir.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
there anything else, ma'am?
No, thank you.
Okay, you're free to go back.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Okay.
Is this Miss Fulgham?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of identity fraud and 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. I've set a total bond at $11,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. If you're able to bond out, that date will get waived. Do you have any questions of me?
Yeah, this all like occurred because I gave the officer an attitude after they were called to a robbery that was at my house.
Yes.
And I signed a warrant for them to go into my place of residence so they could get the blood from the robber.
Right.
And came back 2 hours later with these charges when the identity theft was a friend's mail that I gave them to give to a friend. It's not like I committed identity fraud.
The allegation, as I recall it, is that there were two separate identities.
Yeah, which is my two friends that were staying with me. They had left their belongings in a shoebox, and I just kept it with me when I moved hotels. And I had given them the stuff when they came in. They told me it was fine, but 2 hours later they wanted to charge me with identity theft, which I told them what it was and why I was there.
So it apparently they said they tried to contact the people to verify what
Yeah.
was going on. So I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. So that lawyer, ideally, that lawyer will be able to get statements from those individuals that the identities or whatever identifying information that was in your possession, that they either left it there, allowed you to have it, and those charges or that charge will get dismissed.
Okay.
Anything else, ma'am?
No, thank you.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Alicia McNeely.
Okay. Miss McNeely, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license. The bond is set automatically at $1,500 or set by schedule, which means it's automatically set at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir. So my bond is 1,500.
So it's going to be a little bit higher because the sheriff's department is required by law to add fees to the bond. I don't have access to that fee schedule. So the bond that I set is always a little bit higher because they're required to add those fees on to the bond.
Okay, because yesterday when I came in, they told me it would be 1,850.
That will be the number.
Okay.
Okay. So your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
That's fine. Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Jay Moore.
Good morning, Miss Moore. Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth, and 1 count of driving on a suspended license. I've set $1,000 bond for the false name, and the bond for the suspended license is set by schedule at $1,500. So you're gonna have a total bond of $2,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Not exactly.
Okay. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any questions for me?
Um, yes, I do actually. As far as my bond, okay, if I go through a bonding company, can I do a payment plan?
Yes, you're gonna have to discuss that with the bonding companies. I think it's 4 or 5 that are authorized to write bonds here in Clayton County, and they're all competitive. So I'll encourage people to contact everyone and get the best deal you can get
All
from
right.
them.
Thank you so much. You have a good one, okay?
You too.
And TCS Solomon?
Ms. Solomon, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yeah.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Marquise Williams. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. But that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Madeline Thompson.
Give me 1 second, Ms. Thompson. Okay, Ms. Thompson, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license and 2 counts of having a child under strain in the vehicle. Your total bond is going to be set at $2,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see? Excuse me. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, I will, Your Honor.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
If I can oppose.
I'm sorry.
I do, if I can oppose, yes.
So I'm not understanding you. Do you have any questions?
I said, yes, I do.
Okay, what's your question?
I wanted to know if you knew the percentage of the bonding company. If not, that's fine.
I don't. It's generally between 10 and 12%.
Okay,
If you ask the people at the sheriff's department, they deal with it every day, so they may have a better understanding than I do.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you, that's it, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Wilkins. Have a good day. Deputy Wilkins,
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good one.
you too. All right, let's switch over to the mail side.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How are you doing, Deputy Burley?
I'm doing wonderful and yourself, sir.
I'm doing well.
You ready?
Let's make this a good interaction today.
Yes, sir. Let's make it.
All right. Mr. Avery.
Yes, sir. Are you, sir? Yes, sir.
Mr. Avery, sir, you're charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license. The bond is automatically set at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I'm not sure, but no, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently working, Mr. Avery?
I'm on unemployment right now.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. And what I would encourage you to do is to contact those bonding companies because that's literally their business model. They will place you on payment plans. They'll work with you to get your business. So don't resign yourself to sitting in jail, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, is there anything else?
I just want to know if you lower my bond.
It's set by schedule, which means that there's a group of judges that sat down and determined this will be the appropriate bond amount for this. So I don't normally go under or undercut the bonds that are set by schedule. because there are people that put thought into it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. You're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you Mr. Bell?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bell, sir, you've been charged with one count of carrying a weapon without a concealed carry license. This is also another offense where the bond is set by schedule, which means it's preset. So it's $5,000, and it'll be a little bit higher than that because of the fees that the sheriff's department have to add. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir. Let me know.
There's your preliminary hearing date is gonna be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sure, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Bell. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. And for something like this, if you're gonna carry a weapon concealed, it's cheaper to get the pay the cost to get the license and the pay bond to get out of jail.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Bell?
My question.
Yes, sir.
What if it wasn't on me?
So
All right, it's okay. It's okay, sir. Thank you,
no,
sir.
no, no. So it says that it was in the back seat of the vehicle. So that may be something that your lawyer can work through to get that charge thrown out. But talk to the lawyer.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you're free to go back. You are Mr. Brown?
I am.
Sir, you're charged with one count of terroristic threats or acts and one count of simple assault. I've set a total bond at $5,000. So you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's gonna be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a crystal sands. Do you understand that? I'm sorry, did you say yes?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry.
Okay. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning because the terroristic threats is a felony.
Okay.
That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Brown. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, not really. No.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Tell me your name, sir. I'm sorry.
Trayshawn Howard.
Okay. Let's see. Deputy Burley, is Mr. Bullock and Carter and Chestnut? We skipped the lot to get to Mr. Howard.
We should do enough of that order, sir. I just came in, so. Well, Mr. Bullock, how y'all get out of order? Come on, y'all need to get in order. It should be Bullock, Carter,
Yes.
Chestnut. That's the order that I need. We're not in that order.
Mr. Bullock,
Yes, sir. Your Honor.
sir, you're charged with one count of driving a vehicle at night without the headlights on, and one count of driving on a suspended license. You have a total bond set at $2,000. You believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I do believe.
Okay, there's gonna be a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Bullock. I am going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
So today, if I have the resources, I will be able to post up today.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm clear, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Bullock.
Make sure you remember to make a phone call.
You're Mr. Carter?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Carter?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, Mr. Carter, sir, you're charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce and 2 counts of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act as it relates to, looks like Adderall pills. I've set a total bond at $7,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I'm not sure right now, you know,
Okay,
get a chance to talk, I just want to be able to explain to you, right?
okay. I, there's a preliminary hearing date that's set for July 14th because of these felony offenses. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. And again, you're gonna need to contact bonding companies and they will work with you to assist you in bonding out. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Carter. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No question, sir, just would like, you to know that, you know, I'm currently just lost my job and, trying to get back to working, you can reduce my bond so I can get out. I appreciate it. Please.
All right, let me take a look at your criminal history, Mr. Carter. Sorry, I had closed out a window. So I gotta open it back up. So, Mr. Carter, like you had an issue before. $1997 in Texas.
Oh, yeah, that was when I was, young, naive kid, but it was behind me, sir.
So, you have 18 cycles, which in Georgia, and a cycle, whenever there's an interaction with law enforcement, it's called a cycle. It creates a cycle. Seems like you've had a lot going on.
Uh, yes, but, I think, you know, over the years, I've just got, released from, federal, custody, 5 years ago. No problems, no issues, no nothing, been working since then, I just recently lost my job not long ago, just had to move back in with my mom. So I've been on the right path. I just got caught up in this right here. I ain't had no trouble in the last 5 years. None.
Okay, what I'm gonna do, Mr. Carter, you're not. Okay, I'm just gonna move this along, Mr. Carter. I am going to drop the bond by $1,000 on the 2 drug-related charges, so that'll be a total bond of $5,500.
I'm grateful. Thank you for everything you did, sir. Thank you.
Okay, and I've appointed a lawyer to represent you, Mr. Carter. Sir, stay on the path of moving yourself out of this realm.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I will.
all right, you're free to go back.
Thank
Are you Mr. Chestnut?
you.
Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle without a license. The bond is set by schedule, which means it's automatically set at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Chestnut. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back. You are Mr. Is it Callaway? I'm sorry?
Yes, sir, it is, Callaway.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree and 1 count of carrying a concealed weapon. The criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree is being written as a felony offense. I'm gonna place a total bond on this of $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Possibly.
Okay, there's going. There's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to find that you qualify, Mr. Callaway. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Can I make a statement?
I'm sorry,
Statement?
I didn't understand that.
Can I make a statement?
Yes, sir.
I'm a young man that's really been getting this stuff together. I've been through a whole lot out of a real short period of time, and I don't think I should get a felony off of an honest mistake.
So the amount that makes it a felony is the cost of the damage. So if it's less than $500, it's a misdemeanor. If it's more than $500, it's a felony.
Understandable.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
Is there any way I can get my bond released?
No. No, and the reason I do that, this is something that you had complete control of. You had complete control of your actions and what you chose to do. So it's something that in the future, when you're faced with the exact same thing, you got to do better. You got to make better choices.
But honestly, like I said, it was an honest mistake. It was literally a knock. It was a thin piece of glass. It wasn't no hit. Wasn't no forceful. None of that. But understand, really appreciate it.
Okay. All right. You're free to go back, Mr. Callaway. Are you Mr. Compton? Okay, Mr. Compton, sir, you're charged with 1 count of DUI less safe and one count or too fast for conditions, you're gonna have a total bond set at $5,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? There's gonna be a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. I'm going to find that you qualify, Mr. Compton. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Dorsey? Okay, Mr. Dorsey, sir, you're charged with one count of giving the false name, address, or date of birth. I've set the bond at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? There's going to be a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. But that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Dorsey. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
With that bond, is like percentage of it, like 10%. So 10% of that of the 1,500.
Yes. It's going to be first. It's going to be a little bit higher because the sheriff's department is going to have to add fees to it. But it'll be roughly to 10%. So that's like $150 or something like that out of pocket.
All right.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Gibson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gibson, sir, you're charged with one count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, one count of driving a vehicle without a license, and one count of having an obstructed tag. So these bonds are automatically set. So your total bond is going to be set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Possibly.
There's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Gibson. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Glass?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Glass, sir, you're charged with one count of carrying a weapon or having a weapon at the airport. The bond is set by schedule at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I paid it yesterday at 8:30 p.m.
Okay, so you should get released when you go back. Let me ask you this question. Were you born in Atlanta?
No, sir.
Okay. I had a classmate whose name was Marcus Glass several years ago, and you and I are in the same age range. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
Okay. You're going to hire your own lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Glass?
That is a misdemeanor, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So if you don't have any other questions, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Hawkins?
No, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hawkins, So you've been charged with a number of felony-related offenses, and there's an indication that you're on probation. And that means I can't set a bond for these offenses at this hearing. So you have a bond set for the seatbelt and the defective equipment. I'm gonna set a preliminary hearing date for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm also gonna set a bond hearing date for July 16th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, and what was the other court date for?
There's a preliminary hearing date and a bond hearing date. You do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. So I can't by law set a bond at this hearing today, but that doesn't mean the district attorney's office can't consent to a bond. So that's where the whole thing of getting a lawyer is important, because, the way that it's written up, the aggravated assault charges are really based upon their belief of using a car and that kind of deal. I don't know if the DA will consent to a bond, but they may. But I just can't set one at this stage. You do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. So if you want me to appoint a lawyer, I will.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to appoint the lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Hawkins?
No.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Holliday? Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce and 1 count of possession or use of drug-related objects. You're gonna have a total bond set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
If you knock it down a little bit, then I know I can pay it then.
So the possession of marijuana less than an ounce is set by schedule at 1,500. So not really gonna touch that. The use or possession of drug-related objects, I normally place it at 1,500 also. I'll reduce it to $1,000. So you have $2,500 as your bond. Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
All right, you do qualify, Mr. Holliday. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Now, appreciate you dropping it down for me. Thank you for that.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back.
I kind of figured it. I didn't want to do it.
Mr. Howard?
Sir.
Okay, sir, you're charged 1 count of driving on a suspended license. The bond is set by schedule at $1,500, which means it's automatically set. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
All right. You do qualify, Mr. Howard. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, if I already posted, my family already posted my bond like 15%, do I still have to sit here?
No, most likely when you go back from this hearing, you'll receive a notice that your bond has been set and pack your stuff.
I have another question.
Yes, sir.
You said that the 18,000, say 1,500.
Take a breath.
The cost of the bond, is there any way that you can lower it, or you say it's already scheduled?
It's set by schedule. And so that means a group of judges sat down and that's what they set for that offense.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else?
Okay.
Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Laney?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects and 1 count of possession of suspected crack. I've set your bond at 4,000. That's the charge. And-
No, sir, I did not have any of that stuff. The officer come out the car and start asking them, whose it is, whose it is? And I was just riding, I'm a mechanic. I got in the back, he said he found it in the back seat. I mean, I'm being railroaded, you know? I don't know what else to say to it.
So, let me ask you this question. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You said you're a mechanic.
Yes, sir. And I just,
About how much do you make per hour or per month?
I have to wait for my job, sir. I mean, I'm a self-employed mechanic, you know, and people come by my house for me to do stuff. You know,
Okay.
this customer came by and we got in the car, we came to a roadblock. Next thing I know, I'm being charged. They got free to go. I mean, all this stuff was in these people's backseat. The police came and said, whose it is, whose it is. And then he looked at me and said, you was in the backseat.
Okay.
Is there any way you can lower my bond, sir, please? Because I had nothing to do with none of this.
So, Mr. Laney, I don't think I've even told you your bond amount.
Oh, no, I think you said something about 4,000, 3,000, something like that.
I said $4,500. So just so you know, Mr. Laney, the allegation is that you had in your right pocket a silver pipe that the police believe is used to smoke crack cocaine, and that there was suspected crack cocaine in the pipe that they say was in your front pocket. Okay, so I'm going to leave the bond the way that it's set, as the police also said that you told them that you do smoke crack cocaine. So I don't know if you did or you didn't, or if you did and don't remember, or any of that kind of stuff. So I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 14th, and that date will get waived upon your bonding out. Okay? So, Mr. Laney, in the future, it's better to not speak. Okay? All right, sir. You're free to go back. Are you Mr. Lee?
Yes, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Mr. Lee. Your charges are being dismissed because they did not name a victim. They just named the victim as your wife in this simple battery. Doesn't mean that the charges can't be brought back later, but as a technical matter, I cannot have a charge go forward when there's an alleged victim and the victim isn't named. So these charges are going to be dismissed.
Thank you, sir. You have a blessed day.
You too. Are you Mr. Mallory? Mr. Mallory, sir, you're charged with theft by taking possession of tools during the commission of a crime, loitering or prowling, criminal trespass. Your total bond is going to be set at $12,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning, because these are felony charges that you've been charged with. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Mallory. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, which ones were, felonies?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Which ones were, felonies?
Oh, the theft by taking and possession of tools during the commission of a crime. They're both being charged as felonies.
If it was only temporary, would that still be considered a theft?
So the attempted theft can still be charged as that. From how it's written, it appears as though they're saying that you were removing screws or whatever. So that that's an act. An attempted theft would be coming onto the property with the intent to remove the bumper from the vehicle. So, I mean, it's in order for an act to go from an attempt to a completed act, you just have to take a step in furtherance of it. Okay? Anything else, sir?
It does that there would be a way for me to lower my bond, correct?
I'm sorry?
Would it be possible if I could lower my bond or is that impossible?
So I think both you and your co-defendant did not have a criminal history, which is, it just blows my mind that this would be the thought that would come to your head related to an accident with a rental car. I mean, insurance would take care of that. Now you got to pay a bond. You got other stuff that's going on. So I'm not inclined to lower the bond. Okay. All right. You're free to go back. Are you Mr. Mathis?
Yes.
Sir, you've been charged with one count of driving a vehicle without a valid driver's license. The bond is set by schedule, which means it's automatically set at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I think so.
There's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived according to bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
So what would the total cost be? Like 1,300? $100
Yes, roughly that. And I say that because I don't work for the bonding company, so I can only ballpark it for you.
Okay.
All right. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Did you say yes?
Yes.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Mathis. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions for me, sir?
Okay.
Okay, you're free to go back. You are Mr. Murray. So, Mr. Murray, you're charged with 2 misdemeanor counts, reckless conduct and cruelty to children, and 1 felony count, aggravated assault. I cannot set bond on the aggravated assault charge at this hearing. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, stay away from Kaylin Brady. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. You're going to also have a bond hearing date set for July 16th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Murray. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Is it Nolly? What's okay. Are you Mr. Nolly?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, Mr. Nolly, sir. Um, all right. You've been charged with a number of driving related offenses.
Sir.
And I did not add it up before, so let me add it up now. So it looks like by my math, your total bond is going to be set at $12,500 for these 8 offenses. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
With the bail bond, yes, sir. May I ask a question?
Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of lawyer? Okay, I'm going to find that you qualify, Mr. Nolly. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir, I do. I was wondering if it could get reduced and also by my statute in the community and my record shows that most of these things has never occurred. And I was just wondering if that could be taken a look upon to show that, I don't, my accountability of everything.
So, the majority of the bonds are set at 1,000 or 1,500 or 500 for each of the offenses. The 2 bonds that are set at the highest are $3,000 for possession with intent to distribute and $3,000 for possession of meth.
I own a cleaning service, sir.
Huh?
I own a cleaning service, sir. That's all that I know. You have to go to the court to figure that out. But I own a cleaning service, and I have a lot of stuff that was in the vehicle that night from cleaning a residence. I'm just stating that.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave the bonds set at the way that they were set. Whenever I see something like this, is normally some police officer got upset with you about something, and they're charging you with spitting on the sidewalk and not spitting on the sidewalk, and anything that they can charge you with. At this, unfortunately for you, at this stage, I can't hash any of that stuff out. But I can appoint a lawyer, which I have, and the lawyer will be the person that can assist you in getting this back to where it probably should have been in the first place. Okay? All right, so you're free to go back, Mr. Nolly. You are, is it Mr. Onochi? Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle without a valid license. The bond is automatically set at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir. My fiance has already paid for the bond, so.
Okay. So when you leave this proceeding, you'll probably be told, hey, your bond has been set. But this stuff starts early. I started at 7 o'clock this morning. So, and it takes a lot to move people and all of that kind of stuff. So sometimes people like yourself get caught just in between the lag time. So when you leave, they'll probably tell you your bond has been set and you'll be walking out the door.
I got a question. I got a marriage on the my marriage certificate on the 10th of this month. And my baby, my first baby, she's 7 months and she got a doctor's appointment too.
So what was your question?
I said I got a marriage to pick up my marriage certificate on the 10th of this month. And my baby's at a doctor's appointment. That's my first baby, she's 7 months.
Oh, okay, I'm hearing something about a certificate, but I'm not really understanding the question.
She said I got a court date on the 13th. But I got-
Yes, that date will get, when you bond out, that date will go away and you're gonna get another date in the mail. So when you've told me that your bond has already been set, or I mean, has been paid, that 13th date is gonna go away. Okay? All right, any other questions? All right, you're free to go back. Mr. Reynolds? Okay, sir, you have the exact same bond as the other young man. You've been charged with theft by taking, possession of tools during the commission of a crime, loitering or prowling, criminal trespass. Your bond also is going to be set at $12,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Santiago?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Santiago, you have also been charged with a number of offenses. I've set bond for all of these offenses. Do you want me to tell you the total bond amount?
Yes, sir.
It's going to be $34,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
And that's everything with 10% out, right?
Yes, sir.
How much that would be? How much would that would be in total with the 10%?
Out of pocket, you're probably talking about $4,000 if you go through a bonding company.
So what happens if I go through a bonding company? It's gonna be different?
So I said, if you go through a bonding company, it's probably going to be about $4,000.
So I pay out of pocket, how much would it be? 3,500? 4 racks out of pocket too?
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Jackwell Stewart. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, Mr. Santiago?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Santiago, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions for me, sir?
Yes, sir. Half of my charges that's on there, that they just put anything on my paper. Cause when they showed up, the only thing they did is try to arrest me and they beat me. They ain't even do nothing.
So, whenever I see a person charged with this number of charges, is obviously the person has pissed off the officer in some way.
But I ain't pissed nobody off. They just, when they pulled up, they came at me wrong. I ain't do nothing. They came at me slamming me on the car.
So, Mr. Santiago,
Yes, sir.
when I say that, what I mean is that there's obviously some emotion being directed towards you by the officer who's charging this, because it's a choice to charge this many offenses. Okay, so that's what I mean. I wasn't there.
It wasn't me.
Hold on. I was not there. This is not the stage for me to dig into the offenses. I'm just looking at it from a technical standpoint. At a preliminary hearing or moving forward, As a judge, I will be able to ask questions because I'll have both sides there. And so I can start digging into these charges, okay?
I wanna know if there's any way that my bond can come down a little bit.
So, the reason that your bond is this amount is because the number of charges, the highest single charge for bond is simple battery, and that bond is $4,000. Other bonds are 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. It's the number of charges that has your bond so high.
But all together, my bond is 4,000, right?
I need you to listen to me, Mr. Santiago, okay? Your total bond amount is $34,500. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's your total bond amount. Whatever arrangements that you're able to make with the bonding company, whatever they charge, however they work with you on whatever, that's between you and the bonding company. Okay?
So like you said, if I pay out my pocket, it'll just be 4,000.
Yes, sir.
All right. And that's with everything together, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, sir, you're charged one count of simple battery. Bond is set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, stay away from Brittany Strozier. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No.
Okay, you're going to hire your own lawyer? All right. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Smith?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Are you Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Williams, so you're charged one count of criminal trespass. Excuse me, one count of criminal trespass. Bond's been set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir. I was wondering if my bond could be lowered because the place that I was criminal trespassing, like I literally stay there, like my clothes there, I get mail there. Like I literally live in that residence that I was charged with criminal trespassing.
It's based upon your punching the wall. So it's not based upon your not living there. It's that you punched the wall and damaged the wall. So I'm not gonna lower that. I mean, that's something that is within your control and power. Nobody forced you to punch a wall. So no, I'm not gonna lower it.
So if I go to a bond company, it's gonna be like 10%.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, that's all.
Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Wood?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with one count of driving the vehicle without a license, one count of driving the vehicle with no insurance, and one count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your total bond is going to be set at $3,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I should be able to. Can I post that if you don't mind?
Hold on one second. There's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Wood. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, I cut you off. What was it that you wanted to ask me, sir?
I was driving my sister's car. I was literally maybe feet away from my mom. When I got pulled over. I was just going to the gas station to get something to drink. Me and a lady friend. Um, the joint roach that they found, it was a joint roach. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't equal up no more than 0.2. I'm 100% positive because I just cleaned the car out this morning. It had to be something just moving around. I'm not from here and I planned on moving here with my mom, so I don't want to get in too much trouble. I don't want to be in trouble at all because I planned on moving down here. This is just like a misunderstanding. I do accept the punishment for driving without a license because that was my choice to get in the car and drive down the street without a license. I do accept that, but the insurance, I didn't know the insurance had ran out on the 30th. We called, and we didn't know that my sister didn't know her insurance had ran out. And, like I said, the weed, it wasn't even up.
So I'm gonna stop you. And the reason I'm stopping you, Mr. Wood, is because these are low-level offenses. And when they're set by schedule, that means the group of judges sat down and they decided what is the appropriate bond amount. So for all of these, they're all set by schedule. So I don't change them. And the reason they're set by schedule is so that people like yourself can bond out. You don't have to wait to go before a judge. Okay. So these are offenses that you can probably, with your lawyer, work yourself to where this is not going to be something that is impactful at all upon your life.
I want to move down and be able to get a good job and start a career down here. I don't want to have to be going through all this stuff over, something small like this.
So what I'll tell you, Mr. Wood, is generally what I see. The more you're out at night, at this, like says they brought you in at 2 o'clock in the morning this morning, it increases the likelihood that you're going to interact with the police, because honestly, they're out looking.
Well, it was about 12 o'clock at night, and I had met this girl. We had ended up meeting up the street at the lake. We had went to go to the store to do something.
If this was 2 o'clock in the afternoon that you went to the store, you probably would not have had any interaction at all.
Right.
Okay. So I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Please speak to the lawyer about the facts of the case, and I believe you'll have a positive outcome with this case.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're free to go back. You are Mr. Wyatt.
Sir?
Do you have a license?
No, I had an apartment on the 3rd this month coming up. I had a permit, it was it.
Okay, I'm gonna dismiss this charge, Mr. Wyatt.
So much,
When I get the paperwork, you'll be free to go.
sir, thank you so much.
All right.
You did not see me again. I swear to you, you did not see me again.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Sir, that should be it, sir.
That's the last person I have on my end.
Yes, sir.
That individual that kept asking about the bond, about the $4,000.
Yes, sir.
I just started agreeing with him because he wasn't listening to me. His bond is $34,000 and he kept asking the same question.
That's fine, sir.
I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you get to have lots and lots of barbecue and get to relax.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a good day.